All right, I've got the top of the hour. I am Dr. Galliano, and this is your Unit 8 end of course recording. Welcome, thank you for joining me. And I'll start the session by telling you a little bit about myself. So here's my Who Am I slide. I am a U.S. Air Force veteran. I am now a federal civilian. I've worked at a number of different military and DoD agencies, and I currently work for U.S. Cybercom. I've done a number of different roles in the industry, all the way from a computer shop technician to cyber operator. I do hold a few IT and cyber certifications, and I am a geek and love all things cyber, coffee, cafe, and the Raspberry Pi. With that said, I am a grandfather times 5 now as of a couple of months ago. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, there is my Twitter handle. So I'm going to quickly switch to my browser. And give me just a second to do that. So you should be seeing my browser now at this point in time. And I am showing you my Blackboard Collaborate window. And now a blank screen. And this evening, I thought that what I might do for the end of course session is talk to you about Tryhackme. Now, let me preface that by saying that I often get asked by my students how they can get better at cybersecurity and information technology. How can they build their hands-on skills? How can they break into the industry? How can they show a potential employer that they actually do have some experience that's not associated with an actual position? So really, that's a huge concern for my career changers. And so I am going to kind of show you about Tryhackme. And I look at this as an investment in yourself. You are trying to break into a different position, a different job, a different career. And so you need to spend some time and energy improving yourself. And I'm fond of saying that if you want to be in information technology, if you want to be in cybersecurity, then you had better embrace lifelong learning. Because in IT and cyber, the learning just never stops. And as soon as you're content to stand still, you're actually falling behind. So there are many ways you can keep up and keep your skills sharp. One of those is Tryhackme. And that's what I'm going to be speaking about tonight. We'll kind of start out with why should I use Tryhackme, and I want to tell you what it is and what it isn't. I'll give you a walkthrough of the website. I'll demo an actual room. We'll talk a little bit about whether you should stick with the free account or the premium account. We'll talk about the discount, and then we'll do a wrap up. All right, so why Tryhackme then? So I'm going to start by heading over to the actual website here. And so I've got that up on the screen for you to look at. And I'm going to run through some of the things that, I think make Tryhackme stand out as an excellent tool. First of all, in my opinion, it is kind of the ultimate skills building website. It's uniquely positioned for cyber people and information technology people of all skill levels, all the way from noob, meaning a newbie, to a professional. I have been in the industry for, well over 10 years now as my primary means of employment. And I do consider myself a professional. I'm advanced at the kinds of things that I do. and I still enjoy Tryhackme immensely. So it has a lot to offer for beginners, mid-range people, and then all the way up to professionals. But more than that, it's just a fun way to learn. And I like to say, and to keep learning, right? So it's a way to build your skills and to keep those skills sharp, but have fun doing it. And that's important, right? So it's a great way to build and enhance your cyber and security skills. There are a wide range of topics available, including various difficulty levels, challenges, and they even have a feature called King of the Hill. And it goes above and beyond a typical capture the flag platform or a hacking platform in that it combines the best of all those worlds into one website. Now, Tryhackme is built around this concept of rooms, learning paths, and hacktivities. And then finally, for this introduction, I want to kind of outline that what Tryhackme is not is it is not hack the box or other strictly challenge-based sites. So it's not that you're presented with a machine or a box, as we like to call it, and then you have to hack into that box in order to get anywhere on the platform. It is not like that. There is some of that incorporated into the various trainings and rooms and challenges, but it's not just about hacking into a box. It's actually about learning concepts and doing that in a guided way. And that's really what I like about Tryhackme. All right, so with that then, I would like to move on to a demo. And so what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to scroll you through this landing page. So earlier I went directly to tryhackme.com, and I'm going to pop that over into the chat as soon as I can click on the right thing. And so there's the link for you in the chat window. And when you get to the site then and you land, you're going to get to the landing page where you can log in or join now. And basically all you have to do is provide an email and then click the join for free button. And then just to kind of give you the overview of the landing page, then you see the bite-sized gamified lessons. And I do agree with this. It is both fun and addictive because it is gamified. You earn points by answering questions. You can build streaks on daily answering a daily question or two. You can learn and practice. They have built-in paths here. So I'm clicking through some of those now. And they range all the way from complete beginners to quite advanced, right? And then here's a quick snapshot of a room. And you can see kind of all the features at one time. I want to go ahead and play that video for you now. And it's just kind of an action video here. There's no audio with this, but you can see the individuals kind of reading through what the task is. They looked at the information, they popped the answer in, and then they submitted it. And it kind of goes on from there. Some of the other important things here, though, is you can get started instantly, and you're actually given a real network to interact with. And you do that all through the HTML5 browser. So it works on Chrome, it works on Edge, it works on Firefox, it works on Safari on the Mac. And so it's very much cross-platform. And every lesson that you're exposed to with Tryhackme is going to have both tasks and hands-on components. So not only are you learning, but you're actually learning by doing. And that's really the strength of this platform. In addition to that, there is a community around Tryhackme. And so here you see some of the tweets that they've captured as kind of testimonials, if you will. And so I like this one by Marcus right here in the middle. And he basically tweeted, I learned more at Tryhackme in 2 weeks about cybersecurity and hacking than he had in the entire past 3 years. So it is really kind of a remarkable platform. And they're rapidly approaching 1 million registered users. So they're already past the 750,000 mark. And so the growth of the platform has been kind of remarkable, and for good reason. From many of the things that I've noticed, you can now see over here some of the various organizations that make use of Tryhackme, and then some of the media outlets that have featured Tryhackme. And so with that, I want to go ahead and get logged in. And I'm just going to go ahead and make up an account here to try to walk you through that process. So I'll make an account called, let's see, I'll associate it with, I need to use an account that I haven't used yet. And so I'll use my actual faculty account to do that. And so I'm typing that in here, John Galliano at Columbia Southern. .edu. If I can successfully get that in there without fat fingering it. Okay, so that looks good. I click on the join for free button, and then I get this window that comes up, sign up. Join over million users learning about cybersecurity. You can choose a username here, so the real the username that you want to be displayed, your email, give it a password, hit the CAPTCHA, and then click the sign up button. So I'm not going to actually sign up in the video here, but that's how you would sign up. Now, you'll get a standard kind of account sign up validation thing in your email. And then once you're ready to log in, you can go ahead and enter in your information. So I've put in my email address, I put in a password, and I've hit login. And then I come right up with my account. Now, this is an account that I've been using on the platform for a couple of years now. I was one of the early adopters. And when you log in, you land at your dashboard. And the dashboard is where you get started. You'll always kind of start at this dashboard whenever you log in. And the dashboard gives you a bunch of information that is useful to you. And so, for example, you can see all of your welcome tasks. You can get a look at your streak. And so you can see that I've answered 110 questions this week, and I have a daily streak of 6 days. So I've got a little bit of a streak built here. You can see your hacker rank, which is basically I'm in top 2% on the platform. So I'm ranked at 21,620 out of 869,803 users. You can set your learning target, and that's going to essentially show up here in this learning path area. It gives you a nice little view of all of the rooms that are available to you, the new rooms. And so if you're familiar with Log4j, which has been around since around the 9th or 10th of December and has made a lot of IT people and cyber people's lives quite busy over the holidays. There was a brand new room released specifically walking you through the steps of exploiting Log4j so you could actually learn how the adversary and hackers are exploiting that vulnerability. Extremely valuable. I did that as soon as it came out. and you'll generally see 3 rooms showing there. And so these are rooms that are developed by community contributors and added to the platform. And then you can monitor your progress in a couple of different ways. So first of all, you have the level over here. And so you can see that on my account, I am at a level 8, and I am working towards level 9. I kind of like the way they use the hex code to represent level 9 there, 0x9. And that's going to give me the rank of Omni. And I am approximately 750 points away from earning that next rank level. But what I really like is over in the main portion of this window is they give you a skills matrix. And so as you kind of work on the platform, they plot it on that octagon there, or or hexagon rather, and they plot your skills on that graph, right? So you can see that I've got pretty good skills that I've worked on with Linux, network exploitation, and Windows exploitation. But it looks like I probably should spend some time on web exploitation and privilege escalation. And so it gives you a nice graph and a nice visual representation of the skills that you've worked on and developed on the platform. And I really like that feature. In addition to that, if you are hacking with any friends on the platform, you can, first of all, send an invite. You can search for others on the platform and then send the invite when you find them. And so somebody that I talked into jumping on the platform just recently, Cyberus, had joined in. And so now the two of us are kind of working through things together and individually. And hopefully what you get out of this then is that old saying that iron sharpens iron. So maybe, you kind of egg each other on, encourage each other, work through challenges together. And so that is a whole nother component to the platform right there. Excuse me for just a second. All right. You can also access your certificates of completion. And so I want to show that to you. If you go over to your profile, you are going to see the normal kind of stuff that you can do with your profile things. You can see if there's any teams that you've created or you're a part of. You can choose out various things to share about your social and occupation and such. And I had mentioned community a little earlier. So there is a vibrant Discord community associated with the platform. And if you're not familiar with Discord, it is kind of a gaming chat application. So it's a little bit like Slack, only in my opinion better. And so Tryhackme has a very active Discord channel that you can join with your token once you join up to the platform. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard now. And let's focus in on the learning path. So right now I am working on the junior penetration tester path. So you can click on the view path. And then once you do that, you will see kind of a little background on what that path is about and the items that you have completed with the green check marks. And then below that, all of the modules that remain in the platform that you need to work on, right? So you can see I've done some in the introduction to web hacking, and then I've still got a number to go. And then I've got all of these left to do. On the right side, you can get an idea of your certificate, and you can download that certificate with this blue download button. You see your path progress, so I'm about 15% of the way through. And then you can see that your next achievement is the second module here. Introduction to Web Hacking. And so there you have it there. And then they even give you a little recommendation that this path is probably best suited towards a career in cyber and a specific job role of penetration tester. If you click through to that, then you get some information about what a penetration tester does, their general salary, not too bad at 117,000, and the number of unfilled jobs in cyber, kind of a generic thing, right? 3.5 million. Not all of those obviously are pen testers. But then they also tell you, well, how can Tryhackme help further that career? And so they have two specific learning paths, the junior penetration tester path and the offensive pen testing path. They make it easy to enroll in those paths. And then they tell you, here are the skills that you'll acquire by participating in those paths. So really kind of a really well-organized platform. And so I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about with Dashboard. So I'm going to head back to that for a minute. Now I'm going to click over to Learn, and that's along this top menu row here. So with Learn, you really kind of have two ways of moving through the content. And that is to practice based upon a scenario or based on your experience, meaning challenges. And so again, you kind of see the learning paths front and center. This is a good view though, because you get to see, the level of the path and the approximate number of hours needed to complete the path. And so pre-security is kind of their beginner path. It's about 40 hours long and it's considered to be easy. And then as you kind of look down the page here, they have a bunch of others that you could potentially enroll in on those learning paths. You can also work on practice. So maybe you just want to do some challenges, right? And so these are kind of like Hack the Box more so. And so the focus is on you kind of demonstrating your skills. And so if we looked at this first one here, this is called the Overpass Challenge. And so they build out a scenario for you called the Overpass Company. They are a successful security software company. And part of your challenge will be to uncover web vulnerabilities. You'll be dealing with cryptography, password cracking, performing forensics on Wireshark PCAPs, and you'll even be analyzing source code. You can see that right above that, the relative level of challenge is indicated. So this is considered a medium challenge, but there are others that are easy challenge. I kind of like this one here. The WinCorp scenario is an insane challenge. So might want to save that one for after you've built up your skills. But they've got like 9 or 10 challenges you can do there. If you want to enroll in one, it's as easy as clicking the enroll button. And now you are enrolled in that challenge. If you complete that challenge, then you actually earn a badge in addition to a certificate. Yeah, and then there's some general practices. And these are not so much challenge based. These are actual challenges that you can look at that are based upon your experience level that you indicate when you join up. And then they have some other featured challenges there. You might recommend Overpass and basic pen testing from the other screen. And then if we go back to series here and we click on search, this is really good because maybe you just want to tackle a particular topic. You don't necessarily want to enroll in a path or do a challenge, but you want to learn more about scanning. And so you can come in here and use these filters on this search page. You can look at the subscription only, or you can look at the free only. I'll do a search on the free only. You can filter on the type. So you can say, I want to look at everything, or just challenges or walkthroughs. Maybe I'll do a walkthrough. And then you can order it by most popular, newest, or the most users. And then you can also really narrow down on difficulty. So why don't we go with free only, walkthroughs, most popular, and easy. And then I'll just pop in something like scanning. And before I even complete typing, I've already got 4 potential things that might help me, right? So maybe I could look at Nmap, which is a very common scanning tool that we use on the command line. Or maybe I'm more focused on scanning websites, or maybe a vulnerability scanner like the industry gold standard Nessus, or a very specialized tool like Rust Scan. And so you can kind of get a good feel about how you can search for specific topics and build your skills on something that you need like right now, right away, without having to invest a bunch of time in an entire learning path, or working on a challenge, right? So again, that's the Learn tab, and it is quite flexible as you saw. Now let's go over to the Compete tab. With a Compete tab, when you click on that, you'll actually get 2 choices, leaderboards or King of the Hill. Let's take a look at leaderboards. Now, leaderboards will tell you your rank right up front here, and then you've got some things that you can filter on here. So I'm going to leave it on general. I'm going to leave it on all countries and all time. And this is their wall of fame. So the top 50 users on the platform. So you can see that 0 Day is a bug hunter rank and has accumulated over 100,000 points, and is from the United States. And so you can check out the top 50 there. You can also look at it from a monthly perspective. And so you can see that the ranks change a little bit. And then you can also drill down on a specific country. So if you wanted to look at, say, only the United States, you could look at that same information, but limit it to a country. At the bottom, when I scrolled, you may have noticed how points are awarded. So I'll click on that, and that actually takes you to the FAQ page. A lot of great information here. For example, you could look at rooms, or you can see how do the points work. And they actually incentivize when a new room is released. If you're the first to answer a question in the room, then you actually get more points than if you come along later. And then it also tells you that if the room is a walkthrough, so it's like a guided thing, then you get 25% of the points. Challenge rooms get 100% of the points if it's been released during the month. And then your points will just continue to accumulate over time. All right. So with that, I think I'm ready to show you a room. So I'm going to take you into subdomain enumeration. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull this browser over on my screen to optimize it for making the browser larger. And so this was a room that I completed not too long ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to reset the progress. That's a kind of a cool feature because you can redo the room, but you don't lose your points. So as you can see, I'm 100% on this one, but I'll just kind of quickly reset my progress. It even tells you you'll keep all your points. So yeah, go ahead and reset it. And then you might have also noticed there that I can look at write-ups. So if I'm doing a room and I get stuck and I just can't figure it out, then I can consult a write-up that somebody has written on how they solved it. So there's always the help that you need to work through these challenges. So I'm going to not click on that. But there's two things that I want to do here. The first one is I'm going to start my attack box. And it tells me I'm starting my machine. And then you see that my browser goes into a split window automatically. And you can see that my machine is initializing. So this is a VM delivered through HTML5 in the browser. And then I'm going to start the machine that I'm going to attack. And so that machine is now going, and you can see that it's green, so that machine's ready to go while my attack box gens up. And then while I'm waiting for that, I can go ahead and look at task 1, which is the briefing. So it tells me subdomain enumeration is the process of finding valid subdomains for a domain. And why do we do this? We do it to expand our attack surface and discover other potential points of entry or vulnerability. And so it tells you we're going to explore 3 different subdomain enumeration methods: brute force, OSINT, open source intelligence, and virtual host. And so I've got 3 questions to answer. The first one is, what is the subdomain enumeration method beginning with B? Pretty easy, right? So I'm just going to grab brute force here, copy it, pop it into the answer box. Be sure that I use plain text, click submit, and then I get the whoop whoop, your answer is correct. And you can see that my submit button changed to a correct answer button. Before I pop the next one in, I want to draw your attention to the answer format. So it's a little bit of a clue or a hint. So I'm looking for something that is 5 letters long or 5 characters long. Now they told me beginning with O, so again, that's not too difficult. OSINT's got 5 letters, so I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to pop that in there, and whoop whoop, your answer is correct. So I've got one left. It's virtual host. I can see that it is two groups of characters. That looks like it's a good match for virtual host, except that I didn't copy it correctly. So I'll do that again, pop it in there, and whoop whoop, your answer is correct, and we've completed our first task. Now I'm going to collapse that and move on to task 2. Meanwhile, my attack box is up and ready to use. And I've got some helpful information in my terminal that tells me about what I can do with the attack box. I see the attack box IP and all of the information that I need to look at. And if you're wondering, these attack boxes are actually based upon Kali Linux. And so you have all of the tools available to you in the Kali Linux distribution to further your attacking of the platform. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter to close that box. And now I'm looking at the desktop of my Kali Linux machine. And so now focusing on task 2, this task is about SSL TLS certificates. And so it tells me some information about that, how SSL TLS certificates are created for a domain name, and that there's this thing called a certificate transparency log, and that I can actually look at that log and determine, what the status of any particular domain is. And so I am going to open a browser in my attack box. So I'm going to click on the Firefox icon. And as soon as that gens up, I'm going to go to the website that they mentioned. Now, don't let this confuse you, but the browser default tab is the Tryhackme site. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the next tab. And I'm going to say HTTPS // and go to crt.sh. And Guess that didn't like that, so let me try it again here. So like I did, crt.sh. Looks like I'm taxing it out here. Must be a busy night of busy time of the evening. So let's try that one more time. I'm going to try it a little differently this time. So I'm just going to click on SH, and rather than do it from the attack box, I'm just going to open it in the browser window, and I'm going to do https tryhackme.com, and I've already failed. So let me go back, and it tells me to search for just tryhackme.com. So let's try that again. So tryhackme.com. Pop that in there. Okay, there's the way to put it in. Don't use the protocol in front of it. So you can see that tryhackme.com has registered quite a few certificates. What is the question asking me? It is saying what domain was logged on CRTSH on December 26th, 2020. It gives me a kind of a mask that I need to look for here. So let's just kind of quickly scan down here. We'll find 2020, 12.26. Looks like we got a couple of different ones, but they're the same. So I'm just going to grab that, copy it, pop it back over here, put in the answer, make sure I don't have any stray spaces, hit the submit button, and whoop whoop, your answer is correct. And so that's the general gist of how this works. Now I'm going to do one more just to show you how it works. And I'm going to go to task number 4 because it's a little bit different. So it's telling me about DNS brute forcing. And in this particular thing, there's actually a custom site set up. So I'm going to click this view site button. And I get a captured terminal here that already has the command in the terminal for me. All I have to do is run the DNS recon request, and that command actually executes, and I get the information back. Now you could just as well run this command yourself. You can actually grab it there, and you could do something like click down here on Tryhackme, reconnect, open the terminal, and although I haven't tried this, this should work just fine. Pop that command in there. Okay, well, first we have to go here, pop it into the clipboard, and we can type it in there that way. And then I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so that command is not there. I'll just kind of quickly see if I can install it there. Turns out I can. It's a small package, so it's going to install pretty quickly. And then I'm going to do a clear. I'm going to pop that command back in, and it doesn't work because this machine doesn't have Python in it. But that's okay. Let's just go back to our window here, and we'll rerun the command, and we'll look for the answer. And it asks us to answer the question below, which is what is the first subdomain found with the DNS recon tool? So I'm going to grab this item right here, copy it, and then I'm going to pop it into the answer box, hit submit, and whoop whoop, your answer is correct. So that's kind of a demonstration of how the rooms work. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and switch back to the attack box. I'm going to terminate that machine, and then I'm going to terminate the other box that we were working on, exit the split view, and pull this down to the kind of the normal size here. And then we'll continue on. And so that takes us to kind of the culmination here. Now we need to talk about free or premium. What's the difference? Well, in a nutshell, the free account, which all you have to do is sign up for, is going to get you personal instances. You'll have access to hacking challenges. You are limited to the free rooms on the platform, but there are quite a few. And if you have a web-based attack box like you saw me using, you are limited to 1 hour per day on that attack box. So that's really not too bad. You get all of the features of the platform. You get personal instances. You do get access to an attack box, although it's limited to 1 hour a day. And the other limitation being that you only get access to the free rooms. So generally, when rooms first hit the platform, they're not free. They become free after a certain amount of time. But if all you need is to hop on once in a while and learn something, then the free account is definitely for you. Now, what happens when your web-based attack box expires or you've used up that 1 hour? Not a problem. You can just download an OpenVPN connectoid, fire up your own Kali Linux virtual machine, connect up via VPN, and then you have unlimited access to the platform that way. But what if you wanted the premium account? What you get over and above the free is obviously you get access to all the rooms, even from the very first day they're made available. You have unlimited web-based attack box access. You have access to all of the custom networks on the platform. Your machines will actually perform faster because you're prioritized. If you choose to use VPN to connect from your own attack platform, your own Kali Linux, then you'll get a private VPN server, so you won't be sharing that connection with anyone else. And then you also have access to private King of the Hill games. And that leads me up to cost and the discount. So you, of course, can go for free. And did I mention it's free? So there's absolutely no cost to use the platform other than your time. I'm telling you that it is the best deal as far as training goes in cybersecurity. If you choose or decide later that you want to have all of the features, all of the bells and whistles, all of the things that I mentioned, you really like the platform, then it is only $10 a month. But there's a discount. If you sign up with your .edu email account, you will get a 20% discount, and that knocks the price down to only $8 a month. But that's not all. If you pay up front, in other words, you do the annual subscription, then you save even a little bit more because that knocks the price down to $7.50 a month. And I'm telling you, for $7.50 a month, this is absolutely the best deal going for a platform that allows you to do so much and really make an investment in your career. So really a great deal. All right, so let's kind of wrap things up then. So some of the leading things that we talked about was that Tryhackme is a great way to further your cybersecurity career, whether you're trying to break into cybersecurity, whether you're trying to, show an employer the kinds of things that you've completed. And I'll just mention, I didn't say it before, but I could envision you putting it on a resume that you're in the top 2% of Tryhackme, over 800,000 users. And I can guarantee you that that's going to get a hiring manager's attention or an interviewer's attention. As somebody who has hired cyber people, I look for people who are involved in the community. They're doing capture the flag contests. They're doing things like Tryhackme or Hack the Box. So I can tell you that carries a lot of weight. Um, so, you have that. We also talked about the fact that, there are rooms and you get to answer questions and answers in kind of a gamified perspective. That it goes way beyond the average capture the flag and other challenge-based approaches because it adds depth. And that depth really helps you build understanding of the concepts. And at the same time, you're actually learning hands-on and developing your skills. It is a learn by doing platform. And I'll just kind of wrap things up then by saying that I am very impressed with the content on the platform. I love the range of the rooms and the different topics that I can engage in on the platform. New rooms are added regularly. Almost every time I log in, I see that there's a new room that I could potentially complete. Uh, and then I want to share a link with you of a story from somebody who was on the platform. It is kind of a testimonial, but if you take some time to kind of read that story, you will be really impressed at how this individual relates the way that Tryhackme helped them break into cybersecurity. So I think you'll get a lot out of that. And so that kind of wraps up everything that I wanted to talk about and show you about Tryhackme. I would like to thank you for your hard work in this course over the past 8 weeks. You have been a great group of students. I really appreciate your hard work, and I wish you all the best in your continuing CSU journey. And with that, I would like to see if there are any questions from the group. I am going to stop sharing and I'll open it up to any questions at this point in time. Okay, seeing no questions and seeing nothing in the chat then, I'm going to call this a wrap for this evening. Thank you once again for your attention, and do have a great rest of your day or evening, depending upon where you are in the world. And we will see you in the Columbia Southern classroom. Farewell.